What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Rimworld. Hope your Saturday's going okay. You're staying out of trouble and staying safe and eating some good food. I don't know if any of you watched that Mike Tyson fight last night, man, but my God, I don't really even know what to say about it. Hopefully, it goes without saying that any of us normies, are gonna wind up looking at least Tyson like he's a god. At least I know I do. You know, I grew up with that MFer on my Nintendo cartridge. Saw him in various bouts, throughout history, and I can't really. I don't think it's possible for me to overemphasize my admiration of the man. He was always kind of a hero of mine. I always looked up to him like he was literally a god. And then tomorrow or last night happened, and it's just kind of a stark reminder, man, that time's always working against us all. I guess, and with age and everything like that. To his defense, though, I mean, he hung in there, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. Seeing seeing him kind of stumble around and constantly bite that glove of his and not really get a clean hit off. I mean, it's hard not to shake. It's hard to shake the idea that it wasn't all some sort of money grab only. Either a money grab or I mean, I don't know. I don't really know what else it would have been. Because obviously we're talking about Mike Tyson, so it's not as if he's going to get into the game to get any kind of social points or to get popularity or anything else. I mean, the only incentive that he would have been money. As far as that Paul guy is concerned, I mean, I don't know. I respect anybody basically that gets in the ring with someone as crazy as Mike Tyson. That dude's obviously a badass, even at his age, regardless of whatever we might have seen last night. But it's hard for me to look at Jake and sit there and tell myself that he's some sort of fighter to take seriously, because I don't think we've seen yet him fight anybody that's actually ranked. It's always these like retired dudes and stuff like that, and I mean, I think he's desperate to get taken seriously, or at least I'm assuming he is, because otherwise, why else would he be doing this unless he's obviously getting cash? I mean, I don't know. I don't really know what the game is here in all of this, but I know that he's not somebody that I ever look at and say, hey man, he's a pretty awesome fighter. And I just don't see myself ever having that type of view about that man. Obviously, it goes without saying that that's not the case with Tyson, but with last night, seeing how Tyson's degraded through time, and I went in thinking, man, Tyson's just going to lay him out in less than 3 rounds. And boy, oh boy, was I wrong. I mean, honestly, it really looked like Jake was trying to constrain or restrain himself from knocking Tyson out. And that's just all the more reason that everyone's beginning to believe that this really was nothing more than just some sort of like WWE type of circus event. So I'd be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed. I'm disappointed for many reasons. The biggest being that it's hard to see an idol kind of fall apart. Not that Tyson's like on his deathbed or anything, but seeing how far he's kind of fallen. I mean, it's just age. It's not really that he's done anything that you can blame him for in this. I mean, he could lose 1,000 of those kinds of bouts, and I'd still look up to him. So I mean, as far as how I view him as an idol, that I don't think that's ever going to change, because I'm smart enough and mature enough to understand how age screws with you in time. But that doesn't mean that it's not hard to see someone that you consider a hero to no longer be the person that you were able to kind of admire back in the day. So, I mean, at least just as far as the athletic stuff is concerned, I still think he's a cool guy. I know that he puts on a big show, or at least I want to believe that some of the craziness that you sometimes see either on podcasts or elsewhere in interviews or whatever it is, I'd like to think that his character and stuff is an act, because I don't want to believe that that guy is stupid. Or I mean, I know that we've all got marbles rolling around in our head, but there's a certain amount of sanity that I want to believe he has whenever he's creating the Tyson scenes that he's known for. Because you know as well as I do that there's a lot of money in doing things that gets your name circulating in major outlets and stuff. And Tyson's obviously no different from that, and neither is that Jake Paul guy. Anyway, I don't really know why I'm talking about all this other than just to say, I guess, that last night was kind of like a rude awakening for me, at least. I didn't like seeing Mike lose, whether it was split decision, an act, or anything else. Sucks seeing a hero, lose a bout, especially whenever he was one of the baddest men on earth. And I especially don't like seeing him lose to somebody like Jake Paul. It's almost like something was defiled, and it's just a hard nut to crack, or a tough pill to swallow. And plus, too, I mean, just if you got to sit there and ask yourself, what did Tyson have to gain by any of this? And every finger points to money. So he must have had one hell of a payoff. I've read online that it might have been around like 20 million or something like that. So needless to say, I mean, unless he's just a dumbass and spends all that cash on stupid shit like he used to, it goes without saying that he's likely set up for life now. Not that he wasn't already. I'm assuming that he has had at least some money before this. But I don't know. I don't know, man. There's a lot of stuff that's kind of floating around in my head about it, and it was disappointing to see in numerous ways. But that's just it's just kind of the way it happens, I guess, with these kinds of things. So I'm hoping tonight's UFC 309 somehow cleanses my palate, because I did not like last night, man. I mean, it was just horrible through and through. I mean, the more I think about it, it's weird because the more I think about it, first of all, the cringier it gets. But I should have taken the signs as some sort of thing to kind of like determine how everything was gonna land with it. Because as soon as Mike even well, I mean, even going before Mike's entrance, looking at Jake Paul's entrance, here he wound up being carted out with his brother in that I don't know, whatever kind of car it was, some sort of customs type of thing, I guess. He gets carted out in that stupid car, and then a couple minutes goes by, the announcer or the hosts are talking about some shit. I don't know, they're rambling about something, and then the lights go out, and you're sitting there thinking to yourself, "Oh my God, here comes Mike." And I was even fucking kind of on my seat, on the edge of my seat, kind of clapping and stuff, smiling, blah blah blah, and I was pumped up, man. I was thinking, "Oh my God, here's the fucking God." This guy is the God. He's walking out now. It's all gonna go down here in a few seconds. And I shit you not, as soon as he starts walking out, he begins to he immediately trips on something on the floor in his entrance. And I thought to myself, there's no way that it's gonna be any kind of like foreshadowing, man. Please, God Almighty, tell me that's just something that we can kind of overlook. And I'm sorry, man, but it absolutely was a foreshadow. It jinxed us or something, or jinxed him. I don't know, man, but it's just heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking, man, because as soon as the fight started, during that first round, he managed to kind of come close to getting a hit at Jake. I can't remember how much contact it was. I can't remember if it was the one where he hit him in the neck, because I can't remember what round that was. But it was kind of like that. It was like he was kind of stumbling around the ring, not really getting much off. He was kind of throwing some punches here and there, trying to do his peekaboo type thing that he would always do. but with his weight, his leg movement, his overall demeanor, his just kind of general crudeness, slowness, his hand-eye coordination, it was just all gone, man. I mean, it. Sometimes you would catch little glimpses of it every once in a while during the beginning of a round because he would kind of try to charge out for a few seconds, but then it was like he would just kind of sit there standing around in the center of the ring. And towards the end, one thing I noticed that he was doing is that every once in a while he would kind of move around like he was trying to dance or something, kind of like a boxer would, in his day and age when he was at his prime. He was trying to kind of like move around and stuff, but then it would stop, and it was just, I don't know, man. It was just heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking to see him the way that he is now. It was heartbreaking to see all of it going down with a guy like Jake Paul. It was kind of heartbreaking to see Jake Paul there towards the end, uh, constraining himself or restraining himself. It was heartbreaking to see everyone in attendance and starting to hear the boos at around like round 3 or 4, I think it was. It was just heartbreaking through and through, and it was just a massive disappointment. But like I said, man, I still respect Tyson, and even to a degree, I even respect Jake Paul. As much as I can't stand the Paul brothers or whatever, I mean, I don't really even know anything about them, but I've seen enough of them to not really have a whole lot of respect for them. But at least as far as this little thing was concerned, whether it was paid or not, you got to give it to Jake Paul for not laying the dude out, because the more you watch Tyson, the more you begin to believe that if Jake Paul wanted to do it, he probably could have. So again, whether it's paid or not, you got to at least try to see some honor, I guess, in how Jake tried to handle everything. But I guess that's just how it goes in the entertainment business, because it's clear that Tyson isn't in the boxing business anymore, man. That guy is definitely in the entertainment business. So, and I think I'm still kind of convinced that Jake Paul's more or less in the entertainment business too. And until we see him fight somebody who is an actual fucking man killer, because you can't really say that anymore about Tyson, man. That veil has been lifted, and some of the other dudes that Paul has fought in the past, they at one point may have been man killers, but not anymore, and not at the time that he was fighting any of them. So until we see something like that, someone who I guess is either ranked or just someone who is his age at their prime, official, actual, full-on boxers, who have the career going for them right now today. Until we see something like that, Jake Paul, at least in my mind, is never ever going to be considered a boxer. I don't care how much he tries. I don't know if that'll ever happen or not, but that's just my take on it. So yeah, last night, man, it just kind of sucked. But I don't know, man. I mean, it was still somewhat entertaining. I'll tell you, the fight though that was worth watching were those two chicks before those guys. I don't remember what their names were. That poor gal who I think got screwed over in the decision. Her poor face was mangled. She had a massive gash on her right eyebrow. Man, it looked nasty. And to see her not win, I tell you, I don't know what I think about split decision shit. I sometimes wonder if there would be virtue in redoing the split decision mechanism or apparatus to instead force the boxers to just keep going until somebody gets knocked out or counted out. But I don't. I figure if something like that ever happened, you'd never wind up. You'd have a few matches that would never end or something like that. So I don't know, man. Just like I said, it was just kind of a disappointing night for me. But again, tonight UFC 309, so that hopefully will, like I said earlier, kind of cleanse the palate. And I think that starts at around 6 o'clock for anybody who ends up watching that type of stuff. So FYI on that. Okay, now that I'm done talking about that, let's get the show on the road here. It's kind of hard for me to remember exactly where I left off with this because I've been playing Jagged Alliance 2 here the past few times, and um, see here. Okay, I begin. Okay, I think I remember now what's going on. So, all right. So we're kind of in the process of building these side wings to reflect basically what we have here as closely as possible. And basically, the general mechanic here, or template, if you will, is that there's going to be a rec area, dining area, uh, kitchen area, slaughtering area, corpse area, which is all of this is frozen, by the way. So, the corpses, they're going to last, and of course our frozen foods area, and we also have a crematorium kind of section in the kitchen area. So anyway, that's kind of like the general template that I'm following on each end in this layout that I have here. And at some point, once I get done getting all of the meat out of this area, this thing's going to be demolished, and we're going to finish the wall right there. This section right here is just kind of like a stone masonry type of outdoor building. I don't know yet how I'm going to approach that. So I'm still kind of crunching on that. But one other thing that I'm going to wind up adding to this template is on each side, I'm going to throw in about, I don't know if it's going to be 7 or 14 chem fuel powered reactors or generators. And the intention with that is to not only have a good amount of power, but to also begin to transition towards getting away from these solar panels. Because I think with that amount of power, I think I might be able to finally do that. And if I can, that means I'll have even more space to do stuff with. But I don't know exactly how I'm going to do that. But in between those things in here is going to be nothing but living spaces. And that means that I'll be able to get rid of all of these living spaces in here, as well as probably in here as well. And figure out a way to use that space. So that's kind of what we're doing right now. I don't think I've got any ongoing or present in process missions right now. So I'm trying to kind of use that to get caught up on all this crap that I'm working on. Okay, now last time I inadvertently built this incorrectly, and so that's the reason that we're doing this new wall and everything else with that. Still don't know why I did that the way I did, but so which is really strange. I don't. Let's see here. Yeah, yeah, sure did. This door to door, 6 spaces. Now from door to door over here, should be 6 spaces. It is. See, whenever you're looking at stuff in different orientations, like you see this space here and how it's oriented on the screen versus this space up here and how it's oriented, it winds up somehow doing something to your perspective to where it just doesn't like resemble the same dimensions and stuff in your mind. It's kind of weird. I don't know if that's like some sort of, I don't know, psychological thing, or if that's like a cerebral cortex type of thing or something. I don't know. It's just different. It makes me respect carpenters and builders much more because when you're sitting there building stuff, I'm sure there's a certain kind of mental process that you go through where you try to create mental templates in your mind to kind of make the building process faster. And when you have to take that same template but apply it in a different type of visual orientation, that's, at least for me, it's challenging. I think that's one reason that whenever I was a kid drawing a lot, I used to kind of turn my paper around on the desk. Because I even had an art teacher once tell me, why are you drawing on your paper with it upside down? And at the time, I was just a young kid. I didn't really know why. I just did it. It helped me draw, helped me kind of have better control of things like lines and spaces and shapes and stuff. And she took the paper from me and she reorientated it, put it in the correct orientation as far as her view of it. I remember thinking about that all my life and how annoying it was for her to do that. I need to correct these things here because they're starting to use that and put stuff on it that I don't want them to put on there. Let's do this. Let's, right. Yes. Correct, correct. Now, over here, I need to come up with some other type of layout, I think, because this one's going to be a little smaller. It's going to be a little kludgy, but if it works, I guess, right? Okay, there's that. That's, I don't know if that's the most efficient way or what, but that's what I'm going to go with, I guess. seeing a lot of snow in here. Looks like we've got everything roofed up, so I guess it's just, I don't know, I'm assuming it's remnants from whenever it didn't have any roof on it, but I don't know if that's true or not. That being said, the reason I was looking at it is because I'm going to put these in there. Orientation to do it. I better go and measure things out. So 2 spaces. 2 spaces. Sure be nice if I could use the crematorium for sandstone. I can't do that. So we'll just make a stockpile zone out here. At least. See if we can get one of these guys to think I'm going to make each rec area a different color. So this one will be red. Just need to figure out how big it is, though. 10 by 15. Or 15 by 10, I mean. I didn't know I could make fine carpets. is I'm gonna wind up having power conduit go through all of this. These will connect to that. Okay, now I need to figure out how to do this wall right here. Because I can't really remember. Okay, so there is supposed to be a door, I guess, right there. Is that right? Yeah, there is. So, door right there. Right there. There's a door right there on that wall. So I need to basically do all of that crap over here. I'm literally looking at this with my head kind of like dipped to the side. It's such a pain in the ass, man. Sometimes I regret going down this path doing this stuff, but I still think that it'll be cool whenever I get it done. I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it right now. Back to all this crap at some point. Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff to do over here, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because if we remove this wall, then that means that we can shuffle these shelves around a little. Maybe have some more. guys suck, man. They don't have anything worth buying. It sucks. Jeez. How many dead carcasses we've got? Okay. Actually, here. Not clicking on the right thing. It gets hurt pretty bad. I need to remember. Okay, it's on the very bottom. Okay. So do all this. Won't be too bad though, I don't think. Snow. Install. There. Reinstall. Right there. Just make a copy. Well, we will once we get done with that stupid block right there. Do that. There we go. Okay, so this is going to be our stockpile zone or room, and the stockpile room only has one door leading into the butcher area. So over here, as you can see, oh nope, looks like I was wrong. It does have another door. Damn it. Sad man, this stuff can get a little confusing sometimes. Cancel decommissioning or deconstructing that then. Thing though that I'm not sure if I might have screwed up is the size of it, because over here, well, okay, the butcher area is one block bigger in terms of width. That's the way this one is too. Okay, good. I think we're okay. But with that being said, though, I think this door right here might be. Sits all the way at the top. Need to cancel construction on that. Which means over here. Constructions. Cancel that. Yeah, there we go. Like, yeah, I think I might have screwed this up too, except for that. I think that door should be there, just like that over here. This wall does need to go, and that one does need to go, but everything else. Wait, no, that's not right. Or is it? Man. door from the stockpile zone and from the kitchen area. Stockpile zone, kitchen area. Stockpile zone, kitchen area. So yeah, we do need to get rid of this. That needs to be removed. Oh man, I'm completely mind fucked. I don't know, man. I'm lost. I need to kind of like stop looking at it for a few minutes. Just come back at it later. It's kind of the way I get with some of this crap. I'll look at it and it's like I can't see the tree in the forest or something. You know, it's one of those kinds of things. So I'm just gonna get away from it for a while. Oh Lord. I can't stand those sloth things. I mean, I guess they don't really hurt anything, but they're just annoying for some reason. There's something weird with me about those things. Irritating. Let's see, who is it? Trying to look for somebody who isn't tied down to the ag stuff. I guess Pez is. How can I have him do this? press reconnect for this. It's really irritating. Ah, that's why. Wondering why that wasn't working. I don't know how I missed that. I think that needs to be removed. Cancel that. Copy right there. Copy of that right here. Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's where I was messing up on. I think so. So dump room, door bottom left. Dump room, door bottom left. Yep, that's it. Aha. See, sometimes you just gotta get away from it for a while and then come back to look at it. Yep, that's it. Now, do I have any lights here in the butcher rooms? I do. I thought I did, man, because that's kind of dark. So let's see here. There, right? Yeah. Right. Yep. Sweet, man. It's coming together. Finally. Jeez. Okay, I did not mean to select fine carpet. God damn it. Did not mean to do that. I thought I selected the normal carpet, but apparently not. I mean, it's no big deal, I guess, but it means I'm gonna have to go back up there and... Should I change that, man? Before it's too late. I'll just leave it, man. If they're doing it, I might as well just go ahead and build it. I mean, it'll look pretty nice. And I think that'll probably increase some points on the aesthetics. Just didn't mean to make it, though. These damn cremation things take forever. You know, I'm seeing how cold it is in here, and I'm thinking that maybe we need to put some sort of heater or a vent in here. So I'm thinking maybe one right here, one right there, right here, right there. Sandstone. Oh god, man. Did I really do that over here? Did that with that one too. I didn't realize that I had made it a sandstone table. Oy vey. Are there any perks with that? Beauty of 4. By God, that's what this one is too, isn't it? Jeez, I never realized that. I feel like an idiot. Makes me wonder though if sandstone table. Let's look at furniture. Yeah, it's a 3x3. Beauty of 2. Beauty of 4. Oh, I didn't. That was. I guess that's a good accident for a change. use about 5 bulk good traders. Jeez. Simple, lavish, fine. Pemmican. Package, simple, lavish, fine. Shit. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Let's see what I screwed up on. God damn it. I wish I could copy these freaking settings, but I don't think I... Well... I don't know what good that does, though. Wish I could do is just copy the entire thing. Unfortunately, I can't really do that. know, we should probably put baby food in there too. So, fine, lavish. Yeah, I'm gonna put baby food. Baby food, baby food. Okay. Hmm. Thinking about something here. Pretty good, man. If I do say so myself. Settings. Paste. Alright. Reset to 4 they are. Oh, that one's not. There we go. Okay, so that one's -4. 4. -4. -4. Alright. I think we're good now. What do I got over here? Stupid rats. It's gonna be a problem. Threat has been neutralized. Yes, kinetic clean. Look at how much beef we have. Buffalo meat. And yak meat, man. We are stacked. It's insane. These guys don't really have a whole lot of stuff, though, that I want. Because I think we need dye to... I might be wrong on that. I was thinking we need dye for the floor, or the, you know, like the carpet and stuff. I don't know if that's true or not, though. I need to sell some stuff, but I'm not quite sure which ones to sell. So if we can. We can't. Oh man. That's about it. No components. No steel, no nothing. So, these guys suck. Well, I guess that's it. Yep. I love how they just kind of drop it someplace. Well, at least spring's here. It's getting to the point with my base here where I'm literally like seeing components like scattered in various places on the ground and stuff. I mean, I guess in a way that's more of a good thing than it is a bad thing, but it's just kind of weird. guys kind of suck. I guess that's about all we can get, though. Still butcher table. Crap. I think I kind of messed up here. Or did I? Shit, let me see what's going on here. Yeah, we need a... Yeah. It's 4 degrees in here. 4 to 3 in here. 2 in here. I'm not really sure I understand why, unless it's got something to do with this mountain that I think this area is under. Maybe that's what it is. Never really completely understood how that works, but Do I have anybody on smelting? Vic and Tiff. Vic and Tiff. Where are they? Vic and Tiff. That explains it. Jesus. Right as I don't know if it's my game or my system or what, but sometimes whenever I'm holding stuff down, there's this thing that happens in this game where it'll act like there's a propagation delay during its autosave, and then as soon as it responds then back, it's like it queues up the stuff that I'm doing on here on the screen or something, and it sometimes that's the reason that you sometimes see it like jerk or something like that. I don't know what that is, but it really gets irritating because I'll be on here dicking around with something like this zone that I was trying to lay down, and because of that thing that happens, it was resulted in my mouse like being cockamamie and moving it over here. So, long story short, that's why that happens, and it happens a lot too. I don't really understand it. I guess it's just lag or something, you know. Okay, let me see here. We'll probably this actually. Alright, what's this? Ooh, this might be good. Leader of blah 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 needs extra hand gathering for the harvest for 7 days. Nope. Lay down that carpet while I get this stupid stuff built. I'll build that thing back. I hate how I can't really do anything about that, but you know, you should be able to like put down some, at least slate or I don't know, man, something. You should be able to do something with those. Just can't. It's just really, really irritating. Sorry, I had to see what my neighbor was doing. He's using his mower to blow some leaves off my driveway. He's a good guy, man. Sometimes he gets a little irritated with his mowing, though. It just seems like it's like he's kind of like one of those dudes who mows his yard for entertainment, you know? Seems like that's kind of a frequent thing with old men for some reason. And I think that's obviously where they get that thing about, get off my yard or whatever. Okay, what's going on here now? Salting spree. I mean, I love my neighbor to death, but sometimes they've got a weird kind of thing with being neighborly in their heads. 1 second here. Okay, they're not fighting each other anymore. There's one time, for example, when he took it upon himself to mow my yard with his mower, and it wasn't even really that high. At least it wasn't in my opinion. And in his opinion, I don't think it was either. It's just that he thought he was trying to be neighborly and being a good guy or whatever. Which I don't really mind. But the thing with him, though, is that it turns into a thing. Because there was another time when... See, I've got siding on my house. And it's white siding. And one particular side has the tendency of having a little bit of mold that grows on it. Like the green type, that you sometimes see on vinyl siding. And there's a lot of reasons for it, because the particular side in question is one of the sides that has a perimeter drain about 7 feet down underneath some pea gravel. So whenever the water evaporates, it has the tendency of creating a little bit of a mist, I think, in the air, like a surface, I don't know, air kind of mist during the summer. Because of where the sun comes down on that side of the house, it has the tendency of inducing that green type of mold every once in a while. And this particular time, I let it go a little further than what I wanted it, than I meant to. But it still, in my mind, wasn't really that big of a deal, because it's just, it's just some fucking mold that at some point I'll take my power washer to. Well, he kept threatening to come over and hey, I'll power wash that for you if you want me to. And I was like, I kept trying to come up with excuses for him to kind of take the hint of, dude, stay in your lane. That type of thing. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that my house is some sort of mansion or something, because it's not. It's just a typical type of, small town Indiana home that's not very expensive or anything. It's just kind of like a starter home. And but even despite that, though, I kind of have a problem with people thinking that it's neighborly to come over and just do yard work in your neighbor's fucking house, regardless of how significant the situation may or may not merit it. And they have the tendency of sometimes being that way. And in their minds, they're being nice and neighborly. But in my opinion, it's a little pushy. And they just kind of have a problem, I think, either maintaining those boundaries or just maintaining some sort of like hobby or something. Because that guy in particular, because you got to remember, because see, there's a couple things about that guy that I don't want to get too deep into this, but there's some things about the guy that kind of says, hey, I've got some problems too. To start with, both of his grown sons have been living with him ever since he moved in. And this guy, he's a retired fireman who, from what little I understand about him, is getting by with a pension. So he doesn't have any kind of job or anything. So that means basically that unless he's sitting around worrying about his sons or something, he's probably sitting around looking for shit to do, and we all know how old men can sometimes be uh, whenever they have too much time on their hands. And again, man, I love the guy to death. I'd do anything for him, but there was that time though where he mowed the yard, or just mowed like a section of the front half of the yard, which I don't really appreciate in general, because that means that he's driving over my yard in his ride along. and sometimes I can leave tracks and stuff. And I mow my yard with a push mower, so not that I'm one of those guys that worries a lot about his yard, but I'm not really crazy about somebody driving their thing into my yard. But there was another time too when he told me about mowing another section of my yard, and he drove his tractor all across my yard to come over to where I was outside when I was presently mowing my yard to tell me that he mowed that section and for me to not worry about it. And it turns out that that section that he was talking about that time was a section that we kind of share. So I kind of got the impression that he was wanting me to no longer mow that. And I just flat out told him, I was like, look, man, I appreciate it, but I'm going to go ahead and mow it over there just to make sure it's mowed the way that I want it to, okay? And he took it okay. He didn't really like, try to argue or anything like that. But since then, I've tried to like ease up on that section of yard myself. That way he can just kind of mow it his way. I mean, I still mow it over there, but not as much as I used to. Because I mean, I can understand him wanting to have things mowed his way too. But I just have a problem whenever he's thinking that he's got to come over and do my yard work when it's not bad or it's not. I'm a normal guy. I don't let my shit grow up like crazy or anything like that. Uh, so by me saying all this stuff, I don't want it to come across as if I'm one of those dudes that lets his shit like grow up a foot or some kind of crap like that. I never do that. I'm actually pretty particular about my stuff, to be honest. But every once in a while, though, I might like let it grow up a little bit, and I think he takes that as if, well, it's my time to be a good neighbor and help my neighbor, which part of me doesn't mind. But like I said, man, it's just whenever he comes over and does stuff on his own. But back to him, though, he's got both of his grown sons living with him. Both of them are well over 30, closer to 40. One of them is about to move out because he's getting married, and he's going to wind up moving in with his wife, I guess. The other one is still living with him. Neither of them have a college education. One of them stocks groceries for a living at one of the local grocery stores, and the other one uh, does something for one of the towns around here where he basically works on landscaping stuff. But he's trying to become a full time fireman. So he's going to be working part time, I guess, as a fireman, like some sort of weird hours, like Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, or something like that. And he's the one that's moving in with his wife. And there were a couple times when I suggested that I'd help him out with taking down a couple rotten trees that are behind his garage because apparently he can't get his sons to help him out. And what's ironic is that he comes over and takes it upon himself to act as if it's okay to come over and power wash his neighbor's siding and mow his yard, but he's got a big pile of crap behind his garage that he hasn't done anything with ever since he's moved in, and that is much more of a problem than a little bit of algae on my siding because a big pile of junk back there is going to wind up attracting rodents and termites and God only knows what. And there was also another time when my gate got vandalized. I think I even spoke about it on here at one point. It wasn't anything major, but it was like my chain link fence gate got broken on the bottom hinge and pushed out, and one of the lower bars was bent. And I think what had happened was that somebody was fumbling around at night, fucking around in my yard without realizing there wasn't really an easy way to get out of my yard unless he crossed over the fence without realizing that it was actually a gate. So he tried to step on the gate and fucked it all up and everything. I even think I remember the night that it happened because I remember myself waking up in the middle of the morning and not really understanding why. But in any event, though, that following morning I called him up and I was like, hey, um, his name's Larry, and I was like, Larry, did you happen to see anybody in my yard yesterday or any other time messing around with that gate? And I explained to him the situation, and he's like, nope, haven't, didn't see anything, blah blah blah. And the thing is that someone who's trying to be neighborly, you would think that they would offer up to go look at their security cameras because he's got about 3 or 4 of them over there. One of them's pointed in my direction, but he didn't even offer to do that. He just said, no, I didn't see anybody. I was like, okay. So, it tells me that his effort to be neighborly whenever he takes it upon himself to come over and think that it's his job to power wash my siding or mow parts of my yard and shit. It's not really him being neighborly. It's more or less just him being an old man with too much fucking time on his hands and secretly scrutinizing his neighbors, his younger neighbors, you know. Because if he was being neighborly, he would have instinctively thought, well, I'll check my security cameras and see if anybody was on there. But he never offered that. So I mean, I don't know. Like I said, all of his oddities aside, he's not a bad neighbor, man. It's just I think he's a little stupid about certain things. He's a little entitled, and he's just an old man with too much fucking time on his hands. He needs a fucking hobby, but he's too stupid to realize it. If I had a dime for every time I knew somebody like that in my life, man, I'd be rich. Anyway, let's see what this is all about. Not liking any of those. And another irony thing with that guy is that he's got two things in the yard that he sometimes I think has a little bit of tension about mowing with me because we share this one sliver of yard, okay? It's in between our houses, and I try to mow like a section of it that I would construe as being more or less my responsibility, and it's only like a couple feet worth. And he's confronted me a couple different times about how to mow things. And when he first moved in, and when I first saw him for the first time outside in his yard, I started talking to him about that section of yard to see how he wanted to approach it. And the first time we agreed that I would mow it all. Well, fast forward a few months from there, and then suddenly he's confronting me about it again. And this time I'm like, well, okay, I'll just mow along the edge of it. It's like maybe about 20 yards or something like that worth of lengthwise, and maybe again about at that time it was more or less going to be about 5 feet. And he was like, okay, sure, great. And then after that, it's like, well, you don't need to mow any of that. I'll just take care of it myself. And my only reservation about that is that he takes it upon himself to drive his fucking tractor or his riding lawnmower on my driveway. And whenever he's trying to mow along that stuff with some of the shrubs and trees that are there, he's got to mow it with the blower pointing towards my vinyl siding. And I tried to explain to him that my concerns was that, I've got old siding, it's old vinyl siding, and whenever vinyl siding gets old, it becomes a little brittle and stuff, and so it doesn't take a whole lot to put a hole in it. Of course, it's like talking to a fucking rock. You sit there and you try to explain that shit, and he's out there right now doing that type of crap. And I guess it's just one of those things, man, where it's just never gonna get fucking fixed until I just get a different house. So it's at some point, I hope in maybe a couple years I might be able to get out of this place and just find a place that's kind of not really out in the country, but far enough away from town to where it kind of feels like a mix between being in the country and a stone's throw away from town. That way I can tell everything around here to just go fuck itself. Okay, so anyway, Ren is pregnant, so that's going to be another freaking colonist. Jeez. Okay, so Rachel's on that, I guess. There we go. All right. It's on there. Whoa. That's kind of weird. I've never seen that happen. All at the same time like that. Okay, well, let's see what this is first. Like any of those rewards, so screw that. His sons, though, I really like, despite the fact that they don't really seem to have a whole lot of direction in their life. You know, I'm not one of those guys that sits here and thinks that everyone should have a degree or something, because I know plenty of people in my life who have not only not had a found a degree or gotten a degree, but have wound up making more money than I do. And I mean, I don't know. I think for the most part their jobs are okay and stuff, but job's a job, work's work, and no job that you wind up having is ever going to be completely perfect every day. So I'm definitely somebody who believes that you don't have to have a degree to survive. But with these two guys, though, that I'm talking about, despite the fact that I love them to death, their career, they don't really have much of an established career. And so that's kind of the main thing that I'm trying to drive home about them. And I was somebody who wound up graduating with a degree, and I found a career after some trials and problems and stuff. And even with my degree, it's kind of a struggle. So I know that with those guys, I can't imagine the level of instability that they probably have. I'm sure they go through. I mean, degree or no degree, it doesn't matter. The point is that if somebody doesn't have any kind of established career by the time they're about 40, that can that's kind of a problem, or at least a concern. And with those two being here where they are in the Midwest, in one of the poorest areas of the country, it says a lot about them. And not only about them, but also about their parents, I think. Now, that's up for debate. Uh, you know, I don't really know how to debate something like that, because there's all sorts of different moving parts with something like that. But I do believe that a parent should do everything that they've got to do to prepare their children to be able to handle the world. And I just don't get the impression that they did that with their kids. Again, I love them to death. They're both really great guys. They're both nice. I guess one of them is trying to be kind of like a career coach, and the other one, I'm not really sure. Well, I mean, I think he's trying to be that fireman type of person, full-time fireman. I don't know if something like that's very feasible though, where I am. Even moving a few towns away, I don't know how well that would be, because a few towns away where this guy's moving is we're going to be working. That's more of a population center than where I am, and even there, I think it's going to be kind of a difficult thing. Looks like we still have some ways to go before we start seeing grass and everything. Get the animals out. Something I kind of wonder is whether or not, like, let's say hypothetic. Well, I guess you can't really build that on towards the edge. All right, never mind. I was kind of thinking maybe I should just go ahead and say screw it and build the fence along the edge as far out as we can get it. What would that look like? We'd have one space right here that we'd have to build across with a bridge. Though, well, that's another exception too. I'll do that at some point or not. I probably will. So they can't finish that stupid shelf because of that bot. Structoid. Can't just move the damn thing? Jeez. Too irritating. I guess we're still in the cold snap. Making progress, man. Hey, these rooms, they take a lot of time to do. It's looking pretty nice, though, all things considered. I still don't completely understand why I've got like snow in here. I guess I'm betting that the snow landed whenever before we had a roof on, and because of how cold it is in there, it's kind of stayed around. It's kind of what I'm assuming's happened. Okay, we've got some animals starving. This isn't good. If that cold snap's prevented a lot of the grass from growing. Oh, that's a rhino. Alright, they got it done. Yes. So, let's see here. Cooking detail. So they've allowed. Okay, so they have that. Give me a freaking normal bulk good trader. Charge rifles. I do not see any. Beam trade. Right, well, that's about it for that. Guess the next one now is down here. Again, it's going to be another one of those kinds of things where I think we're going to have to find a cute way to deal with it. Unless we, well, I mean, because we can't cover those stupid geyser things, it's... What's going on here? Yeah, here we go. This is all we need. Alright, never mind. We're good. Oh shit. Okay. It's not really one that we gotta worry that much about, so. Be different if that was like someone's pet or whatever, but they didn't seem to have any relationships with anyone. Guys, I think I'm gonna end this episode here, and you know how it goes, man. Whenever I get back, I'm gonna continue on, make this one down here, and work on this one. And one idea that I've been thinking about is maybe putting the power rooms where I'm going to put those chem fuel generators, like maybe making a diagonal room right here, and then in here just making the bed areas or living spaces. I mean, so I don't know. Just gonna have to keep thinking about it. think down here that might be a problem because I don't think we'll be able to make those on top of that bridge work. Yeah, see. So that might be an area that we wouldn't be able to make that happen at. And if I do it along here like we originally thought, I'd probably wind up with a more consistent placement, I think. Because there's fewer things to worry about in that design, with the exception of this. So I don't know, man. We'll figure it out, though. Anyway, I'm going to do a save skipoo. Get that saved. And I will see you guys when I see you. I'll probably wind up making another episode sometime tomorrow if I have the time and energy and the willingness, you know. You know how it goes, man. You gotta take each day one day at a time. But if not, either way, you guys have a safe and happy weekend, and we'll see you when we see you. Later.